Good evening and welcome all. Friends, it is my privilege to introduce you to Mr. Nithin Kamath, the dignitary for the session, uh, and to almost all chartered accountants and the youngsters who are associated with capital market. He needs no introduction, because whenever somebody thinks of starting his capital market journey, 1 out of 10 investors would first think of Zerodha. And the number of investors and the digital journey of Zerodha has been known to most of us being in the financial markets. Friends, some interesting facts is he used to manage his father's account as a youngster, a teenager, and when he started his capital market journey. He has gone through all the ups and downs of the capital market, lost the capital at some point of time. And what we say is, you lose the money, but you gain the experience. And with that experience, his journey for Zerodha started, and which needs no introduction today to an Indian investor. With this, I introduce you and request you all to welcome Mr. Nithin Kamath, the dignitary for the session. We also have Vaibhav Manek, our own a member from a chartered accountant fraternity, has been also part of the core group and the managing committee. A visionary who is a partner at KNAV, and the innovation that he has been doing the rounds not only in the chartered accountants fraternity, but in the entire financial market. May I all request you to welcome CA Vaibhav Manek, who is going to lead the discussion today. Friends, now coming to the today's session on navigating tomorrow, how chartered accountants can lead financial innovation and sustainability, is something which is closer to the heart of all chartered accountants, and a lot of insights to explore on a fireside chat between Vaibhav and Nithin. May I now request Vaibhav to take charge of the proceedings.
Thank you, Kinjal. Friends, very good evening. I want to make the most of the next 45 to 60 minutes that we have, so I'll straight away jump into the session, Nithin. But Kinjal, that technology was not just my idea, it was a whole group managing committee. We had a youngest managing committee back in the day. All the past presidents, everybody's contributed, but I'm glad to see that the vision has been now enabled, and I'm sure it'll be a wonderful experience for all the members. So thank you for that. And I want to start with thanking Nithin for graciously accepting our invitation in the first call. I know how busy he is, but knowing Nithin over the years and how he conducts and what he has built, I knew that heart in heart he'll hopefully accept. So Nithin, we are indeed grateful as a Bombay Chartered Accountants Society that you agreed to come in. Really, really thankful.
Oh, thanks. Thanks a lot for having me here.
Sure. So Nithin, I want to start with one of the first questions that most of us have. You built Zerodha. Back in the day, this is like a 100-year-old industry, the brokerage industry. When you started, what led you to think about a 20 rupees brokerage, a zero brokerage? What were the thoughts? What inspired you guys to think about starting Zerodha?
I don't think it's a 100 years old business. In reality, I think India went online digital only sometime 2007, 2010 onwards. And India went, completely online in the sense that we could onboard customer completely online from 2016. So we were kind of lucky that we were there when all this happened. But what people don't know much about is a time that I spent before Zerodha than after Zerodha, because I started trading the markets late 90s, 98, 99. I like Kinjal said, I kind of blew up in 2001. I worked in a call center for 4 years. Call center, because you could kind of trade in the day and work in the nights, so And then I quit and I became a sub-broker. During 2001, 2002, that time period, I used to run some really large Yahoo Messenger groups on stock markets. And I somehow found a lot of power hiding behind pseudonyms, right? In a call center, I was called Nathan Hawk because that was my pseudonym. And then I had a pseudonym on the messenger groups, So yes, in 2005, I quit. I joined Reliance Money. Not joined, as in I became a franchisee of Reliance Money. And then 2008 happened. Luckily for us, we made some money in that year. But leading into 2009, we were having like a kind of a drawdown. And just before the election, just the day before the election, I decided to exit all my positions. And in the frustration, I said, I'm not going to take a trade. And Nikhil, my younger brother, he said he'll continue trading, and I said I'm gonna go and search for some opportunity to build some other business around this, and it happened to be broking, because broking is all that we've done. Not really broking as in all ancillary to broking. So that was the genesis, how it all transpired. And while people give a lot of credit in pricing, that the fact that we launched at a flat fee per trade, but it's not really the pricing. It's basically the first bit in the journey was basically transparency. The fact that a customer could come on a website and know all his upfront charges, upfront, was something which was unheard of, and which gave me the power to be on various platforms and talk loudly about Zerodha. Today we have, like 17 million customers, and every customer of ours has got the same deal. So, if I'm seeing something here, I don't have to remember in my head, oh, what is that I've sold? So, and that's the problem with a lot of financial services businesses, is that they can't really be transparent in the way they operate, the way they work. And so long answer, but that's the reason. So
that's an excellent take. So one of the lessons I will take, Nithin, and we are all chartered accountants in the room, and a lot of my younger friends, some of them starting up, if you lose money, it's not a bad thing. You can get an innovative idea and you can build the next large accounting firm that we are all aspiring to. You'll always think better. No, but just in a lighter way. But no, that's a good anecdote. So just in that question, the part two of that, would you have imagined the scale you would have reached, the 70 million accounts today, when you and Nikhil started off? Did that cross that you have to build something of scale? Was that relevant at that point?
Absolutely not. I hadn't seen a life beyond 100,000 customers, because I still remember 2009, when the idea of Zerodha came by. I sent out an email with a business plan of sorts, and really, there were 4 of us, and my idea, in essence, we followed through with everything while building Zerodha, but my best case scenario was 100,000 customers, and I hadn't seen a life beyond that. Even in my wildest dreams, I don't think we would have ever assumed that we would get to 17 million customers. The crazy thing is, we are probably the only business around the world to have hit this scale without ever spending on advertising, right? As in. It kind of goes on to prove that if you build a product and you build it with the customer at the center of it, and you build it automatically, you build good product, people will come. So but coming to your question, there is no way in hell, we would have ever gotten to anything more than 100,000 customers.
No, I've observed Nithin over the years, the modesty that he represents. So grounded. Even Nikhil, we keep having coffee chats. I think, but what keeps you guys continuously grounded despite meteoric rise, despite money chasing you and you refusing the money? What is that secret sauce that we can take from your experience, Sir Nithin?
I don't know. I don't know about grounded. I guess, it's basically right place, right time is the reason why we're wherever we are, right? As in the fact that we were building a business when we had the best 15 years of India. Basically means that, usually, people ask a question, what do you need to get right? A business cycle, a market cycle, or business skills? If an entrepreneur, he comes and asks you, what do I need to get right? Market cycle or business skills? I would always say market cycle, because if we were trying to build Zerodha in 2001, it wouldn't have ever reached here. Just the happenstance, just the fact that we've been right place, right time, so many times in this journey is just ridiculous, and just knowing that, you have a lot of gratitude, and money, I don't think we've, at least with me, I don't think I have ever, and nothing in my lifestyle has changed in the last 5 years. Net worth has gone up by maybe, 100 times, right? As in, nothing has materially changed. I still go to the same office. I still go to home. It's like 4 kilometers away from each other. I hardly ever get out of Bangalore. So just knowing all of this is probably keeps you grounded, as in the fact that luck has played such a crucial role in all of this.
Super. So 2 more questions on Zerodha journey, and then I'll go to the accounting profession, Nithin. But if you were to reimagine Zerodha today in 2025, what would you have done differently if you were to start up today? And with all the current technology, because I'm sure a lot of us in the room, with all the financial background, we advise stockbrokers, we advise financial intermediary participants. A lot of us have startup ideas. But how would you think today if you were starting up all over?
I don't think there's an opportunity to build a Zerodha today, right? Because the fact that, one of the things that we got right in the journey was that we were there at the right time, right place, with the right products, which is, when Aadhaar happened, we had complete online onboarding journey, and we had a very good product. And 2020 happened, when COVID happened, we had all the products in a place, on our kitty. As in, now, if not of all of these incidents, I don't think how we would have grown, right? So I don't think today there's an opportunity to kind of build another Zerodha. But, I think the opportunity today is really to build an advisory first broker. I would probably build not Zerodha, which actually stands for Zero Rodha. Rodha means barriers in Sanskrit, as in I would probably be, one advisor or something like that, So I would, but the problem is, when you get into broking, the problem is you tend to benchmark yourself to, other players. You would benchmark yourself saying, I have 18, I have this many customers, Zerodha has got 18 million customers. I don't think that's the right way to, build a business at all. So I think the real scope in India is to be an advisory first broker, or anything. If anyone is working on anything on capital markets, I think we have introduced a lot of people to the markets, but the unfortunate thing is, I don't think most people know what to do, right? So yeah, so I guess that would be my answer.
Great. I have a bunch of questions on people starting up, but I'll reserve that for a little later. Let's look at investors. You have analyzed investor trends. You've looked at investor evolving patterns. Nithin, what do you see next 10 years, next decade in India from an investment lens? Do you see investors getting more mature? We keep hearing Jane Streets of the world someday. And by the way, we all love your LinkedIn real updates. And it's an education for all those who are following his LinkedIn. When I read it, I don't have to read a newspaper. Nithin is very candid, and thank you for that. But how do you see the investment climate, the investor maturity in the next decade?
I mean, I think as India as a country is like a generation behind the US, and over time, it's only a matter of time before Indians mature, and like there was a question on retail debt markets. I mean, the reason people don't participate is because people don't know how to participate, and it'll take time. But I think the other trend, which is you just launched a Chat GPT whatever program. I think the thing is, people consuming these AI tools, etc. It's basically we are in a major transformational shift, and I sometimes question myself: would we, as brokers, essentially end up becoming like pipes to the exchange and to the back office platforms, and customers, they build a custom app and then they consume on that. So I think 10 years from now it would be, I guess it would be something like that. It would be people not looking at a broking app for trading, but building a custom app using whatever they want. And like for example, we launched this model context protocol on Kite. So basically, people can consume all the content on Claude, for example, and basically do any analytics as you want. So yeah, so I think it's quite crazy. As in the potential is quite crazy, and our role as a broker is, I sometimes think that how do we make the best pipe? As in that's because that eventually that will end up being our job, I think. So.
No, excellent. And also, when you chartered accountants, financial professionals, Nithin, in Zerodha and otherwise, you would have interacted with several chartered accountants over time, especially finance professionals, etc. What role do you see chartered accountants playing in India's fintech revolution from your vantage point?
I mean, see, Bharat and Om, who are chartered accountants, we started a career almost around the same time. Around 2010 is when we started. And they are essentially like the CFOs of a business, right? As in, like Abhay was saying, Premji talking about, what is gray is black, right? And this is something Bharat and Om, I didn't appreciate it as much when he started off, but this is something they made sure, we followed it. And the thing is, it's not just, we were generally like that as a person, like in the business also, being transparent, being open, etc., or on tech side being open, and all of that. So ensuring, just by helping us build a business which doesn't have any of this debts, legacy debt, etc., I still remember Om telling me that if you have to remember something, then it's probably, a wrong thing you're doing,
It's not worth it.
Yeah, and so I think it's a tremendous help they have done to the business. I don't think we would be here if not for them. And when I think about chartered accountants as a whole, I hope every company finds a chartered accountant like that, and helps, because most businesses that I know end up spending a lot of time doing all of these things, and time saved is time earned, right? As in, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I got the advice, for you, but yeah, just giving you Bharat and Om's example with my case, So.
Nice. No, that's a great message. I mean, we believe we are all trusted business advisors to entrepreneurs, so that's a great validation, Nithin. Now, I want to go one step forward to being future ready. I know in Rain Meta Foundation and your other enterprises, you invest in startups and founders who are talking about sustainability, ESG. Also, you're looking at a lot of digital finance. Do you believe Indian chartered accountants currently, from a skill perspective and being future ready, how would you think about what skills they should take so that they're really future ready?
No, I mean, it's not just chartered accountant, it's also on the business community itself, right? Because when you talk sustainability, when you talk ESG and etc., you use all of these words. These are essentially, right now, just like checkboxes on which, people come and say it's done. I think the need of the hour is to think about it more holistically. Think about, for example, let me give you, as in trees, okay? So assuming you planted 1,000 trees. Now, what quality of trees was this? Was this native, right? Or then ensuring that the trees, saplings are just not planted, but how do you ensure it survives for 20 years? So, I mean, not look at ESG as just a thing. Just think about it more holistically. And the good news is that thanks to the the CSR budgets people have, at least it's kind of reaching boardroom, like it's reaching a place like business leaders at least once in a year at least have like a CSR impact assessment whatever meeting. So I guess the chartered accountants can essentially nudge the business owners to take the right kind of decisions, and I mean the thing is the problem is the social sector in India is very weak, and it needs to be supported, and instead of planting trees or building schools, find organizations that are working so hard in that space and support them. If that's an advice we can give you.
No, interestingly, Nithin, under the SEBI guidelines, there is business reporting and sustainability reporting, BRSR, is a certification that auditors are supposed to do for companies of a particular threshold. So a lot of us in the room have started reading it. At least it's beyond check the box. Every year it's getting better. We don't know how much it'll sustain, but there is some kind of semblance. But what you're saying is right. Do it in the meaning of it, the spirit of it. And if I can ask you, if you were to look at an investment opportunity, does financial sustainability from an ESG, from overall governance standpoint, how relevant is it from your decision making if you were to evaluate investors and investment opportunities?
No, I mean the problem is. The capitalism of today doesn't, involve all of this while deciding on, an investment. As in, now investment again are two types. One is for profit, and second one is for impact. For impact, you definitely, we see all of this. But for profit investment, unfortunately, everyone is, what generates most profit is really what what you support. No, I mean, that's a problem. So.
But talking about investments, Nithin, worldwide, accounting firms have now started attracting private equity investment. Some of them are going IPO. There are a lot of firms in US, UK, etc. What would you look at? First of all, do you believe the accounting profession is an investment-ready profession given annuity of revenues, profitability? And I'm talking from some personal experience with you guys. But generally, what would you look out if you make an investment decision for a financial services firm, especially a professional service firm? Any advice to everybody here?
No, I think it's the thing is, I guess all of you would be knowing this. Once you get a customer, it hardly ever leaves the practice, right? As in, so while the growth is not phenomenal, but the growth is steady, but it's more sustainable kind of income. So, and in capitalism of today, again, the thing is, wherever there is any revenue generating opportunities, people with excess capital are going behind it. So I think the good chartered accountancy firms, especially given with whatever is happening in AI, because it's going to make the world a lot more efficient, and essentially more capital in the hands would mean an ability for the founders to go and acquire new businesses. So I think the scope is immense in this space. So.
Great. So the good news is, friends, we are all investable. If you're growing your firm and you need capital, there are enough investors and more. And in our seminars and in our power summits, we have been discussing this, that inorganic is one way to grow. Even organically investing in technology processes, it all needs capital. So the new breed of chartered accounting firms, we are looking at more and more consolidation as well. So capital is welcome. I'm glad to hear from one of the country's foremost investor. And by the way, between Nithin and Nikhil and the whole organization, it would be some 500 private investments or more?
I mean, no, probably not 500. 500, probably 250, 300.
So that's somebody with experience, having seen the journey. And in that context, Nithin, just one more question on this. What do you consider the most, and not just accounting firms generally, when you look at an investment opportunity, what are the 3 or 4 things that you like most? A lot of people build fancy decks, they make fancy projections. The valuations are sometimes insane. We have seen it last 2-3 years, a lot of froth. And I've heard your public comments, some of us have read it, of course, that you believe in real product. You've mentioned it, real customer value. But what are the 3-4 things that we should all keep in mind if we are to approach private equity investors, venture capital firms, etc.?
I can't really say for everyone, because people kind of end up figuring out different things. But what I look out for is basically someone who's got some core competency, as in not really an idea that's come in a coffee shop, but really an idea that you have an experience running. For example, like Zerodha as such, the only reason we are successful is because there was 12 years before Zerodha happened, right? So similar kind of stories, as in you don't need 12 years to understand the industry and the business, but at least a couple of years. So if you have an idea, do you have 2 years, 3 years experience, or how did the idea come about? And one is that. 2 is generally the market cycles, like I said, because we try to invest in market cycles which are maybe contrarian. Like, for example, through Rain Matter, we invest in health. I mean, off late, it's kind of picking up, but it's still not much. we are investing in climate because everyone knows that the climate problem is quite huge, but no one is really putting money behind it, right? And fintech, because we are there, and another one is storytelling, which is like media orgs, So I think those were the two things, as in figuring out market cycles, and then figuring out the core competency of the founder and the team and etc.
Great. No, so this is really fundamentals, and thank you for sharing that. Nithin, we all know that you are known as famously media shy, yet you've built one of the most visible brands in the country. We've all seen Zerodha over the last 10 years. In that context, how do you define leadership? Based on your experience, what would be your thoughts on the word leadership?
No, I mean, the media shy is not really. I'm probably been kind of okay. So the first 10 years of the business, I was extremely visible on media. Right, I used to travel. Like, I used to come to Bombay every 2 weeks. Come and it was like a darshan. Like go meet journalists wherever possible, and I used to do India Darshan once in a quarter, which is basically Ahmedabad and etc. So basically do press conferences and meet journalists. But what we realized is around 2017, 18, we started seeing the waning power of the press. We saw that there's no material impact out of that. So that's when I became active on social media, because on social media I started posting stuff, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc. It was 2019 is when I started it, and I like to keep my social media presence as someone who is not trying to create engagement, which is really hard because on social media, I mean, everyone gets there to get reach, and to get reach you need to be loud. And how do you get the activity without being loud is a question. The good thing for us is we had a unique story to say, and because I can say it candidly, which kind of gave us the reach. So I don't think. But if I had an option, I would disappear. Because I don't think I'm the kind who wants to be on social media also. But
we would not like you to disappear. We love your candid views, so please continue posting.
Yeah. So then, I mean, I've become extremely silent from 2024 January because I had a brain stroke, right? As in, it's a struggle sitting here and talking with the audience like this because but I guess that's what life is, and life is never a straight line. It's up and downs, and so 2024. I mean, the last year onwards, I've been like extremely quiet in terms of my physical presence. In terms of leadership, I'd say, I don't know, I think I'm probably sitting in the wrong room, but if I had to say, I'd say I prioritize long-term over short-term. And basically, I feel that who has said that you need to look in quarter on quarter, or who said you have to look year on year? I like to smoothen it 3-year moving average of all my numbers, and then see it, because the thing is, in trading, the more times you trade, the higher the chances of you making mistakes. And same way, the thing with founders is the more times you see financials, people who keep bothering about their P&L numbers every quarter, every day, every few weeks, they're forced to trigger. like, and that is really the key. Is in the key is you don't really look at it so frequently, and that kind of seeps in through the business. Because every single thing that we do in the business is thinking about long term. Like, if you think about Japanese businesses, or if you look at China, for example, has a 100-year plan. Yeah. I mean, who can compete with them? I mean, no way. As in, no way. I mean, I can write it down. Like, I'm confident that 20 years, 30 years from now, China is going to stand out, right? Because they have a 100-year plan that they're working towards. I think that's been the key. And the thing is, as a business, you have to do where you're. You have to do different things, and you have to do things where you have an edge. I know that most of my competition is forced to look at it every month. I can think about it over a 3-year moving average, like a smoothened curve. So that's really our advantage in the business, So.
Well, that's a great moat. And that's why I think some of your decisions get reflected the way you guys decide. You don't have to worry about an investor asking a question and the analyst really behind you. And that in that context, Nithin, there's a lot of startups who've kind of, there's always a clamor to raise capital. What are the mistakes that you see in team building, in strategy, in founders' thought process? They talk about exit even before they've got the investor in. You must be seeing this every day. What are some themes and messages that you think founders should avoid when they are looking at growth, scalability, and not really burn capital always?
No, I think the big problem is as founders. Okay, it's like being on social media, right? The more louder you are, more reach you get. And the founder, the more you sell, the better the funding terms. Like, it's basically it's kind of reached a point where people have started questioning that. Does a founder have to oversell continuously, or is it better to undersell? Under promise and over deliver kinds. So I think that's a key point, right? As in, if I had to raise money, I'll make sure the investors know the reason, know that. For example, I think the chairman said that hopefully we'll get to 400 million customers. But how will we get to 400 million customers? As in, where are the people in the country who will take us there? As in, the country has to grow eventually. So probably the 400 million customers journey will happen over 10 years, right? But the thing is, I can't, the problem with founders is they will go and pitch it as, oh, SEBI chairperson said this, so we will get there in the next year. Like, so I'll be X percentage of this, and this is my valuation. The problem is that, the problem is how do we ensure people don't oversell, and once you, as a founder, you oversell, you set the wrong expectations, then everyone in the team kind of is forced to attempt to meet the wrong expectation set. It becomes like a death spiral after that. In terms of hiring,
teams, etc., team building.
Yeah, the thing is, one of the things that we are extremely proud of is the fact that the core team of Zerodha has stayed together for 15 years. Like, and today there's money, wealth, etc. But there wasn't money, wealth, etc. Almost 7-8 years of the journey, and they've stuck around for. And I say core team, it's probably like closer to 100 people, and they've stuck around because you've given them like firstly you're not thinking of him as a resource, because if you think of him as a resource, then you'll want to squeeze every ounce out of him as a resource. So for example, at Zerodha, we stop all work chat after 6 p.m. Like no one is allowed to ping regarding work after 6 p.m. or on the weekend, unless it's like super important. We encourage everyone to have hobby projects, like some hobby that you're working towards. And even while hiring the people, we make sure the expectations are set right, because I remember like 2 years back, someone was trying to join us, and I was telling him, do you know that we are probably top of the bull market, and you're quitting your a job in a place, and then you're joining a broker who could essentially be at the top of the bull market. It's probably not a smart thing to do. And so it's like that, as in, and culturally also, right? As in, because you can, the thing you need to make sure is you're not hiring a person with bad culture too. As in, when I say bad culture, a culture doesn't fit in the organization. Like, for example, I met a gentleman who was like a senior manager at the broker, and he said, I'll move out from the existing broker and come join you with 20 people, and we'll get this many customers. And I was like, why would I hire you? As in, I must be a fool, right? As in, people who come for money go for money. As in, it is, absolutely, that's how we think about business and life, so.
No, that's a great insight. You weren't really built them, and fantastic answer, actually. We sometimes in the profession have concepts of performance targets, revenue targets, profitability. I'm sure it's all irrelevant in your scheme of things, but how can one think differently about growth? And promise me, that's my last question. I'm going to open the audience round. But how would you encourage us to think beyond targets? Because you're famous in saying that you don't believe in it.
See, the thing is, the context matters. Now, I can't tell any of you guys not to have targets, because I think really the option would be for someone new setting up shop and figuring some other metrics to chase rather than just revenue and growth. The problem in today's world is, I know I might be ranting, but the problem is excessive consumerism. Like, always wanting to grow and always wanting to consume things, and that's a problem. And the problem with growth is you're not ever happy with growth, because it's like being on a treadmill. You'll keep running, you'll keep chasing something that you'll never achieve, because the target is never going to be met. You're gonna, as soon as you come close to the target, then target goalpost moves. So I don't know. I might be really, saying this to the wrong audience.
No, fair point. The insights are important. We have to think beyond, and we all, some of us are very clear. It's about professional service, competency in the service, technical depth. We don't want to chase clients. We want to be known for giving good advice. I think that's right. So we have about 5 minutes. I'm going to open the floor for 2 questions, because I have a rapid fire round with him towards the end. So I'll be giving 2-3 minutes. As a moderator, I have that privilege. I'm going to take that privilege. Yes, Nithin, over to you.
Nithin, as a trader, typical frame of mind is that of a hunter-gatherer. You go for kill. And from there to build a business, it takes farmer and builder kind of a mindset. How did you go through that transformation in mindset from being opportunistic, looking at trades, to doing this long-term vision?
No, I think I don't think I was ever a good trader. to be very honest, because and Nikhil, my younger brother, he is just amazing at it. So I mean, if at all anyone is hunter gatherer, it's him, because like even before Zerodha, for example, I used to run some really large communities on Yahoo Messenger, on Orkut, etc. And this was done without any expectations. Like you're not doing it with an expectation that, oh, this person will give me X rupees. It was done without any expectation, and that kind of extended into Zerodha. And thankfully for us, as in Nikhil, the first 2 years, made trading profits, and that's how we ran the business, and that's how we didn't have to raise any money. Yeah, so I mean, your hunter-gatherer thing, I don't think I was a hunter-gatherer ever, so, but you're right, as a trader, as in even Nikhil, the way he even does investments now, so he runs something called NK Square, etc. So he runs it separately, and I run Rain Matter separately, as in while we both are partners in each, and it's the same family office. But the way opportunistically he invests, I don't think I can ever do that. So.
Okay, we'll take one more question. Anybody here? Yes, sir. Please. Can you pass on the mic, please?
I could make myself point.
Yes.
You rightly mentioned that actually targets, especially in a professional firm, achieving targets, and I think Vaibhav also made a mention to that. Really, a monetary target could be counterproductive, because if I'm chasing a monetary target, then my service levels may not be at the right level. The difficulty that I see. So if a professional firm is chasing a monetary target, I must get so much revenue, then whether you are maintaining the right service excellence would be the problem. However, when you are chasing, ultimately that becomes your target, service excellence. There is hardly anybody outside capable of evaluating what service excellence you are providing. So how do you sort of resolve that dilemma? It's an internal satisfaction, yes, and the gestation period for outsiders realizing your service excellence is pretty long. So how would you respond to that?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so one of the things that we did right from the start was never spending on acquiring a customer, because the first, I mean, and this is really the tone that sets in, right? If we had started acquiring a customer, paying for acquiring a customer the first 1-2 years, we would have continued doing it. The fact is, when a customer comes to Zerodha, he doesn't add any cost to us, right? So you are essentially looking at the customer not in terms of, I need to squeeze this much revenue, and that's how targets, etc. is set, because you have a customer acquisition cost, and you need to recover that as fast as possible. And by not having any such costs, what we have ensured is, you're not really looking at customers in terms of that, in terms of revenue. As in, for example, we haven't ever sent a spam message, or a customer's, probably competitors of ours send 10 push notifications on a mobile app, because that's what's got the most, click-throughs. And we send once a month. So all of these philosophies we could all imbibe because of that, because of the fact that we didn't spend any money acquiring a customer. In your context, I think, I mean, it's an internal thing, I mean, I don't know how else to say. It has to be like a cultural, internal thing. Especially over the last 1 to 3 years, some of our competitors have become quite big, in terms of number of customers. But we're okay. We're okay with seeing how it goes. So.
No, that's fantastically answered. I think we don't have to chase customers. Whilst I invite both the Kinjals back, I'm going to do a rapid fire, just 2 questions, Nithin. Very one-word, 2-word answers. What is the one financial habit you swear by?
I mean, I don't have a. I didn't have a. I don't have a credit card. I don't do anything on credit. And this was.
Great. We are voracious readers, most of us. A book that you recommend every finance professional should read.
I think there's a very easy book which is called The Reminiscences of a Stock Market Operator, which is like, if people haven't read it, it's definitely worth read. And I was just listening to Acquired podcast. I would also recommend that. Acquired. It's just brilliant. So.
Superb. No, thank you, Nithin. Friends, that's Nithin Kamath for you. Thank you so much, Nithin. Really appreciate it.
So, it is my distinct honor to deliver this word of thanks for this exceptional and quite thought-provoking fireside chat. So, in today's, the heart of today's conversation was quite compelling, close to heart, close to all the financial professionals sitting out here, and also those who do a side hustle of marketing and investing, in the stock market. So, it is quite a topic which resonates with all of us. Firstly, I would like to give heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Kamath. Your entrepreneurial journey and your commitment to transparency, financial inclusion, and responsible startup has been truly inspiring. So I think there are 3 similarities which I could draw with your journey with Zerodha, and if I may put with BCS, is that first is transparency. I think transparency is core to BCS as well. Second is you mentioned that it's a zero advertising company. We as chartered accountants are barred from advertising, as we all know. So as BCS itself, I think we are also quite a selfless driven organization. And I think third and most important part which you mentioned is core competency. So we are as an organization driven by almost 250 plus selfless core group members, along with the office bearers and the team of vibrant past presidents. So that is how BCS also drives its journey year to year successfully. So I think we have quite a bit of similarities there. Today's session especially, I think, has redefined, our thought process. I think a lot of new things for us to probably go back home and think upon. So we are deeply grateful for your time, your candid answers. I think we all will appreciate that everything right came from the heart. So I would like everyone to just join me to give a hearty vote of thanks. Whereas I think an equal remarkable job done by CA Vaibhav Manek. So we extend our deepest gratitude. Seamlessly anchored this dialogue with such clarity and depth. I so very thank you to be the voice of all the chartered accountants sitting out here. I think we all wanted to ask the same questions which you had. So I think it was an immense value, and it brought a lot of different new perspectives to all of us.